David Shaw, the vocalist of the band, spoke with Galore magazine about the meaning behind the song. For a song like Wish I Knew You, I'd rather keep the meaning of the song open and free for people to interpret on their own. Interesting. I have thoughts on that I'll talk about after this. I certainly know what it means to me and love hearing from our fans what the song means to them. Too often in the past, I've revealed the truth behind certain songs and felt that by defining them, they lost a bit of the mystery. I like mystery. It keeps things interesting. So that's fascinating. And also I like that the singer has a little bit of I have a feeling he might have, I don't know if a philosophical mind is the right word, but he has, yeah, he likes mystery. I like mystery too. And I've often felt that there's this balance to be had with the way things used to be and the way things are now. And what I mean by that is, so in the past, if you had, celebrities, Hollywood actors, you had musicians, you had authors, whoever was famous, you would fall in love with their work, and you a lot of the time wouldn't know what the work was about. You wouldn't know anything about the creator. And because of that, as David says, there was a sense of mystery. And that was really potent. It allows the creator and the thing itself to have a larger than life. In a sense, it allows the piece of art and the artist to become almost mythological, because it allows them to maintain a larger than life presence as a band, a mystique. And it allows the music to have this almost mythological, larger than life aspect to it. And I often feel like in our modern world that's lost, because now we have this Instagram culture, this social media culture, where artists feel like they have to, and they owe it to their fans to disclose every aspect of everything they make, be it when they're in the studio giving studio updates, when they write a song doing a behind the scenes on the album or the song, and now they're doing podcasts and you're getting to know who they are outside. And it definitely takes away from the mystery of both the artist and the art. But it is an interesting balance, because all of my favorite artists are people that I feel like I know very well. Be it, one of my favorite bands, Parkway Drive. I feel like I know a lot about Winston and the rest of the guys. I've seen documentaries. I've seen behind the scenes. Every time they put out tour documentaries and tour videos, I watch them, and every time they go deeper and deeper into my heart. And I feel more and more connected and more like I have more in common with Winston. And that's what made them one of my favorite bands, is that I felt like, wow, Winston is one of the few frontmen that I feel I can really relate to. I feel like if I was a frontman of a band, I would have a very similar vibe about me in the way I go about presenting myself to the audience that Winston has. He's just such a likable guy. He's always just laughing with the crowd and joking, but also very connected. He has an incredible charisma. And that always resonated with me, because I went, I feel like a brotherhood with him. And then, be it Jack Severetti, another one of my favorite artists, or Ed Sheeran. I feel like I know a lot about some of these artists. And sometimes the opposite can be true, where I love their art, and then the more I get to know them, the less I like them and the less I resonate. And there are songs where I felt super connected to. And then when I hear their interpretation, it's not as deep as I thought. Where it's funny, because with Parkway Drive, for example, often when I listen to what the song is about, because Winston's a poet, very poetic person. And so when he describes what the music is about, a lot of the time it makes me go, wow, that's even cooler than I thought. Or it gives it so much more poeticism or depth. And so there's an interesting balance there where when I think about, are any of my favorite artists that I don't know anything about them, or I don't know what the songs are about? I don't think so. But I often find the artists that I don't know much about definitely have more of a mystique to them. And if I do love a song, it can almost be, larger than life. So it's a very interesting balance. And I even think about it with myself as a content creator, as an artist, as someone who shares my art with the world. I've often thought about, for example, that video I recently did unveiling essentially my channel's overarching narrative and the vision I have for the channel. I was wondering, leading up to that, do I want to disclose that? Or do I want the audience to leave it to the audience to realize there's something greater going on that connects my content? And I thought about that a lot, because I know that the more I overtly disclose my vision, the less mystique it has, but the more emotional resonance it has. So essentially you're trading mystique for emotional resonance. And then I was thinking, okay, you think about leaders, right? You think about, like whether or not you hate or love Elon Musk has spelled out his vision. And that is what inspires people to love Tesla or SpaceX, right? A lot of leaders, the potency and power of their leadership is in their ability to convey a vision and an ideal to their audience and their community and stir up the emotional passions of the people that follow them. Like even Hitler, right? He spelled out what he wanted and what he wanted to do. And so it's interesting. So there's always that balance of, bringing in your audience emotionally close and disclosing that to you. And because that will build a much more potent emotional bond with your audience. And then again, as I said, then you have the other way of you're wanting to actually create distance, emotional distance from your audience, so that the audience can project their own meaning onto the music and onto you even. Because then you become not a martyr. You become, a little bit like a god, essentially. Yeah, really. The more mystique around you, and it's that fine line balance of disclosing enough to create the emotional resonance and enough to create the vision that people can get behind, but also hold back enough that the audience can project their hopes, their own dreams, and almost put themselves into what you're doing. Because the more you make it about yourself, the less room there is for the audience to feel like this is their thing. So that's a fascinating, delicate balance that I'm still figuring out. And I've realized I'm opting more for the emotional resonance way of approach of the channel and my art. And also, I think there's another aspect of it too, that much of the time and often I realize that my subconscious mind is planting seeds and creating and evolving my content and my creative process in a way I'm not even consciously aware of. So in some sense, I'm consciously holding an ideal of where I think I'm going, while my unconscious actually steers and navigates a deeper rhythm or a deeper vision for where I'm actually going. And so even then, even if I consciously bring you guys as the audience into my creative process, there is still room for the mystery and the mystique, because even that same mystery is being hidden from me. I'm not even always aware of the full totality of what I'm doing, which is why it's sometimes cool for me to watch some of my old content and be like, oh, wow, I was actually gearing up for what I'm doing now 2 years ago, and I was not even aware of it. And that is cool when you literally see a deeper level of intelligence coming into play. Yeah, that's very interesting. So David Shaw, definitely an interesting perspective on mystery versus, that essentially building a culture. Because also, I don't think you can create a culture without disclosing what the culture is. Again, it's hard to create a culture around mystery. But I guess even there's hidden values that speak for themselves through your work that don't even always need to be disclosed for the audience to rally behind the idea of them or feel them. It might not be a conscious resonance with the values, but there's an unconscious, because we're always embodying our values, whether or not we're aware of it or not, or whether or not we speak about our values, we're always embodying them. And that's why sometimes if someone speaks that they have certain values but doesn't embody those values, it's like, well, no, you don't have those values. You just say you do because it sounds good. But really, yeah, your actions speak for themselves. If you guys want to check out another clip from this episode, click here. And if you want to check out more clips on this topic, click here. And if you want to check out the full episode that this clip is taken from, you can click the link in the description below. And that's it. So I'll see all of you in the next one.